over your tools. So first you've got your manual. This covers all the functions, all the modes. It does have training tips, but we don't follow the same tips, so if you have any questions about training, contact us and we'll help you out. And this is your warranty card. This is under 2-year warranty. If anything malfunctions, a battery, life, whatever happens, it is covered for 2 years. Fill out this card, send it in, or go on their website. So your tools, you've got your remote, your collar, and a charger. The charger has 2 ends. It can be charged at the same time. It takes about 2 hours. I would plug it in every night. Treat it just like your cell phone. You plug it in every night when you go to bed. Same with this. It can hold a charge for about 48 hours, but I would plug it in every night to play it safe. To charge them, there's a flap on the back of the collar here and on the back of the remote down here. These flaps, make sure they're closed. That's what makes them waterproof. The collar and the remote do have a half-a-mile range, so if your dog were to get that far away from you, you're covered for a half a mile. Alright, to turn them on, so to turn the collar on, there's a little red circle on the side of the remote here, and on the top of the collar here. You just touch them together, and it should turn on. So if it's on, it's green, and if you're turning it off, it's red. So we'll turn it back on. To turn the remote on the back side, there's a big button here with a big L on it, and it says on off next to it. You're going to push and hold that for about 3 to 4 seconds. The screen will light up blue. That's how you know it's on. This little smiley face down here and this little window here will light up green. That's how you know that they're on. Green means they're fully charged. Yellow means they've got about a half a charge left. And a red light means that you should probably plug it in. Also, on the back here with this big L button, it's also a light. So if you push it once, it's a strobe light. If you push it again, it's a solid light. And the last time, it turns it off. So push and hold it, turns it on and off. Push it once, strobe, twice, solid, 3, off. This little button next to it, there's an M and a C on it. Those are just the modes that change all of the functions. We only use it on C. You'll see the front screen has a C on it. If at any reason it changes, just push that button until it goes back to only a C. Alright, so on this side here where there's a single button, it's the T button. It's got a T on it. We use it to test the collar and the remote just to make sure that they're communicating properly. We don't use it for training. It actually only sends a vibration to the collar. Dogs don't know what the vibration means. So if you touch it, you'll see that it vibrates. Just lets you know that they're communicating. On this side where there's 2 buttons here, we're only going to use this top button for training. That's what the big S, stim, that's what sends the communication to the collar. This red button, we don't use it for training. It can be used for emergency purposes, but don't worry about it. This is the dial. This is what turns the numbers on the screen up and down. It goes from 0 to 100 so that your dog has several different training opportunities. Numbers vary depending on what you're asking the dog to do. So the fit of the collar. So when you put the collar on, it's going to go up high, right under the ears, up super high on the neck. But avoid the trachea. It's the most sensitive part. Don't need to put it there. Either side of the neck is good. It can stay there for about 2 to 4 hours in one spot. It can stay on the dog for more than that, 8 to 10 hours a day. But if you're going to leave it on that long, make sure you're moving it around so that it's not in one spot for too long. When you put it on the dog, you're going to want to make sure that it's pretty tight. Tight enough to when you put your 2 fingers under the buckle, you're going to have to use your thumb to help them through. That's how you know it's on correctly. It's on this tight so that you can send proper communication to the dog. The box should be able to kind of move up and down, but not slide up and down your arm, if it can, or the dog's neck. If it can slide up and down, you won't get a good communication. It can cause some irritation. So make sure it's tight enough that it just stays in that one spot. All right, do you have any questions so far?
Nope.
All right, so I'm gonna have you actually feel the collar. So you're gonna put it here so that you can feel the different modes, and I'll explain the method in just a second. So when you're holding it, you're gonna put the screen, if you're right-handed, down, face down into your palm so that your index finger is between the antenna and the dial here, and your thumb on the button. Okay, if you're left-handed, the back side down so that you're same thing. All right, so our method, you turn, first time dog gets a freebie. Okay, so say the command paired with the button so that the dog can associate the two together. So Diego, come. You're gonna push at the same time. Then just a little tiny bit, come. Let me know when you feel it. Little bit, come. Little bit, come. Little bit, come. Little, come. Turn, come. Turn, come.
Okay.
Okay? That was a 20. All right? So dogs can usually feel it about 10 to 15, somewhere in there, but as you felt, not much. All right? Any questions from that?
No.
Make sure that every time you are going to ask the dog a new command, this is turned back down to 0, so you're starting over every single time. Okay? Remember, the dog always gets a freebie the first time. I asked you once, you know what the command means, you should come, or sit, or whatever I'm asking you to do. Don't listen, that's when it starts to go up very slowly. I ask every night, when you're watching TV, whatever, the collar is not on the dog, I would practice with this, just so that you can get used to little tiny turns. The numbers you will find move quickly with just a little bit of motion. So you're gonna wanna just a little tiny turn and tap, little turn, tap. Your turns should be within 3 to 5 numbers. I always say in your first 3 turns, it should be between a 9 and a 12. That's how you know your turns are